All right, now court will resume with the June 6, 2022 docket, and I have there Mr. Dallas Gutierrez. And I believe, sir, you're here on F0859-22-4 in the matter of the marriage of Linexia Pedrosa and Miguel Pedrosa.
Yes, Your Honor, and it is a default hearing, Your Honor.
Okay, and court will note that Miguel Pedrosa is not in the waiting room, and okay, so he's not around. Therefore, court takes judicial notice of the entire file. And is Ms. Pedrosa going to testify?
Yes, Ms. Pedrosa is going to testify.
All
Your
right,
audio is not on, Ms. Pedrosa.
she needs to unmute.
Okay, there you go. Good morning.
All right. Good morning, ma'am. Please raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
You may put your hand down and you may proceed, sir.
Ms. Pedrosa, state your name for the court.
Lenexia Pedrosa.
And at the time of filing, have you lived in Texas for the preceding 6 months and this county for the preceding 90 days?
Yes, sir.
Has the divorce been on file for the last 60 days?
Yes, sir.
Are you currently married to Miguel Pedrosa?
Yes, sir.
Has there been a discord or conflict in personalities that destroys the legitimacy of the marriage?
Yes, sir.
Is there any chance of reconciliation?
No, sir.
Have there been any children born or adopted of the marriage?
Yes, sir.
And is the child Malaya Rain Pedrosa?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Is this the only child of the marriage?
Yes, sir.
Has there been any family violence that the child has either witnessed or at all?
Yes, sir. 2 years ago, I pressed charges on Miguel Angel Pedrosa because he had stabbed me.
And are you currently still in proceedings for that?
Yes, sir.
And has those acts made it difficult to make decisions jointly with Mr. Pedrosa?
Like, what do you mean?
Have you been able to talk to your daughter about him because of the family violence situation?
Well, I mean, she's barely 3 years old. She doesn't really know what's going on.
But has it been hard for you to work with Mr. Pedrosa in dealing with your daughter because of the family violence?
Yes.
Has he been involved in any of the decision making of your daughter?
No.
Are you asking this court to appoint you as a sole managing conservator of the child?
Yes, sir.
You believe that's in the best interest of the child?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Are you asking to have the exclusive right to determine the residence without geographic restriction?
What do you mean?
Are you asking to be able to move the child and be the only one to say where they live?
Oh, yes, correct. Yes.
Do you believe that's in the child's best interest?
Yes, correct.
Based on the family violence, are you asking the court to deviate from the standard possession order?
Yes, sir.
And are you seeking that if Mr. Pedrosa does have visitation of the child, that it be supervised?
Correct. Yes, sir.
And do you believe that's in the child's best interest?
Yes, sir.
Are you asking the court to obligate Mr. Pedrosa to pay child support based on the minimum guidelines?
Yes, sir.
Do you believe that's in the child's best interest?
Yes.
Does the child currently have health insurance?
Yes, she does.
And what does she have?
She has Medicaid.
Are you asking the child that the court order that he pay for Medicaid back, pay Medicaid back $75?
Yes, sir. Correct.
And are you asking that anything not covered through health insurance be split equally?
Yes, correct, sir.
Do you believe that's in the best interest of the child?
Yes, sir.
Are you asking this court to give each party what is in their actual possession?
Yes, sir.
The property that is in their actual possession?
Yes, correct.
Are you asking the court for each party to take whatever liability they have incurred in their sole name?
Yes, sir.
Now, to your knowledge, are you in current bankruptcy proceedings?
No.
Do you believe that Mr. Pedrosa is in current bankruptcy proceedings?
No, sir.
All right. Are you asking for a name change?
Yes, sir. Yes.
What are you asking for your name to be changed to?
Back to what it used to be. It was Lenexia Olmeda before I got married to Miguel Angel Pedrosa.
So you're asking your name to be changed to Lenexia Olmeda?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And Have you, and once prepared, will you sign the decree and with all the terms that have been previously stated?
Yes, sir.
I have nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Huerta, are you in this case or which is your case, ma'am?
Judge, I'm actually with Fred Loya now. I am here on the friendly suit hearing.
Oh, on the friendly suit hearing. Oh, okay.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, we're gonna get started in just a couple of minutes.
Thank you,
Okay. All right, then court will once again take judicial notice of the entire file in F08 59-22-4 in the matter of the marriage of Lenexia Pedrosa and Miguel Pedrosa. Court will hereby dissolve the marriage of petitioner respondent. Court will hereby grant petitioner all relief request to hear in open court. Court will await a decree for signature.
Thank you.
All
Your
right,
Honor.
that'll do it. Thank you all very much. Y'all may be excused.
Thank you.
Hey,
Your Honor.
thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, let's go back to the friendly suit. I think it's still friendly. Everybody's smiling and looking at me. And court will resume with the June 6, 2022. And we're here on CL 21-1054D, Marcela Castellanos as next friend of minor versus Jose Andres Quilantan, Sandra Castellanos, Penske Truck Leasing Company, and Rental et al. Okay, we have Mr. Mark Scudder. I see him there for the defense. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Mr. Mario Garcia for the ad litem. There he is.
Good morning,
the
Your
ad
Honor.
litem. He's the ad litem. And we have Miss Oriana for plaintiff, right, ma'am?
Yes, Judge, good morning.
Good morning. And I see a family there on.
That is
somebody
Ms.
good-
Marcela with the 3 minors, yes.
Oh, okay. And she'll be testifying, right?
Yes, Judge, and I'll need the services of an interpreter.
Okay, let me get one.
And Judge, for the record, Alex Huerta also on behalf of the defendants.
All right. Good morning. I mean, yes, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Okay. All right. And so who you going to call Marcela Castellanos?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Miss Castellanos, can you hear me?
Señora Castellanos, ¿escucha al juez?
Sí.
Yes.
Good morning, ma'am. Please
Buenos
raise your,
días, levante su mano derecha.
you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth,
Levante
and
su
nothing
mano
but the truth?
derecha. ¿Usted jura que el testimonio que va a dar es la verdad, solamente la verdad y nada más que la verdad?
Sí.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Miss Oriana,
Gracias. Puede bajar
you
su
may
mano.
proceed, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge. Mrs. Castellanos, can you please state your full name for the record, please?
Señora Castellanos, su nombre completo para el record.
¿De casada o de soltera?
Su nombre completo, legal.
Perdón. Ok, Marcela Guerrero Trejo.
Do you go by Marcela Castellanos as well?
¿Usted también usa el nombre de Marcela Castellanos?
Sí, de casada, de mi esposo.
Yes, Mary.
Okay.
And you are here as the next of friend for Jose Emanuel Engael, correct?
Y usted está aquí representando los intereses de José y de Manuel
And Gael.
y Gael,
Sí.
¿correcto?
Sí,
Yes.
And we're here today because of an auto accident that happened back on January 30th of 2020 here in Hidalgo County, correct?
Y estamos aquí tocante a un accidente automovilístico que ocurrió el día 30 de enero del 2020 aquí en el condado de Hidalgo, ¿correcto?
sí,
Yes.
As a result of that accident, Jose Emanuel Engael sustained injuries, correct?
Y como resultado de ese accidente, José, Manuel y Gael recibieron lastimaduras, ¿correcto?
ajá, oh, sí,
Yes.
And they received treatment for those injuries, correct?
Y ellos recibieron tratamiento por esas lastimaduras, ¿correcto?
sí,
Yes.
And their injuries have resolved. They are doing well today.
Y ellos ya están bien y hoy ellos están bien de salud.
Guadalupe y Manuel son los que les duele un poco.
Guadalupe and Manuel are the ones that hurt a little.
Are they under the care of any doctor presently?
Ahorita presente, ellos están viendo un doctor.
No,
No.
Okay. And we're here today because we've reached an agreement on their behalf against both defendants, correct?
Y estamos aquí hoy porque ellos han llegado a un acuerdo tocante a los dos defendientes. ¿Es correcto eso?
sí,
Yes.
Actually, for the record, it's 3 defendants. And they've agreed to pay Combined total of 24,000 for Jose, correct?
Y para José, la cantidad es 24,000, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
Fred Loya is paying 8,000 out of those 24,000, correct?
Y la aseguranza Fred Loya está pagando 8,000 de esa cantidad, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
Of those 8,000, you are asking the court to pay $3,073.50 to the law office of Ezequiel Reina for medical expenses, case expenses, and attorney's fees, correct?
Y de esa cantidad de $8,000, usted le está pidiendo a la corte que 3,073.50 centavos sea pagado a la oficina de
Ezequiel Reina.
Ezequiel Reina para cubrir los gastos médicos, los costos del caso y honorarios del abogado.
Sí.
Yes.
The remaining balance of $4,926.50 will be deposited into an interest-bearing account in the registry of the court for the use and benefit of the minor child, correct?
Y la cantidad de 4,926.50 centavos es la cantidad que va a ser depositado en el registro de la corte en una cuenta donde este dinero va a estar ganando interés y este dinero no lo puede sacar a José hasta que él cumpla la mayoría de años, que son 18 años. ¿Usted comprende eso?
Sí.
Yes.
And against the other defendants, they will be paying $16,000 to settle Jose's claims against their insured, correct?
Y tocante al caso de Manuel, a él le van a pagar a $16,000 para resolver el caso de él.
I'm sorry, is this for Jose or Manuel?
This is for Jose still.
Okay, Jose, okay.
Perdón, para José.
Jose, yeah, okay. So
¿Es
what is it?
correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
Of the $16,000, you're asking the court to pay $11,073.50 to the law office of Ezequiel Reina for medical expenses, case expenses, and attorney's fees, correct?
Y de esa cantidad le está pidiendo usted que la cantidad de 11,073.50 centavos sea pagado a la oficina de Ezequiel Reina para gastos médicos, costos del caso y honorarios. ¿Es correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
And the remaining balance of $4,926.50 will be deposited into an interest-bearing account in the registry of the court for the use and benefit of the minor child, Jose Guadalupe Rico, correct?
Y la cantidad de 4,926.50 centavos es lo que va a ser depositado en el registro de la corte donde va a estar ganando interés para el solo uso y beneficio de José. ¿Correcto?
Ujú.
¿Sí o no?
Sí.
Yes.
Regarding Emmanuel Rico, you have reached an agreement with all defendants for $12,500, correct?
Tocante a Manuel Rico, usted llega a un acuerdo con todos los dependientes para arreglar este caso en la cantidad de 12,500, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
Of that amount, you are asking the court to pay $1,976.24 to the law office of Ezequiel Reina for medical expenses, case expenses, and attorney's fees, correct?
Y de esa cantidad usted le está pidiendo a la corte que la cantidad de 1,976.24 centavos sea pagado a la oficina de Ezequiel Reina para cubrir gastos médicos, los costos del caso y honorarios del abogado, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
$2,822.47 will be deposited into an interest-bearing account in the registry of the court for the use and benefit of the minor child, correct?
Y la cantidad de 2,822.47 centavos es lo que va a ser depositado en el registro de la corte para el solo uso y beneficio de Manuel Rico.
Sí.
Yes.
The remaining balance of $201.29 is to be paid to Texas Medicaid to cover his Medicaid lien, correct?
Y la cantidad de 211.29 centavos, eso va a ser pagado para Texas Medicaid, eso es para liquidar esa cuenta que se debe a
Sí.
Medicaid. Yes.
Sí.
Ma'am, was that 211 or 201?
201.29.
201. There we go.
200.1 centavos.
From the other defendants, they will pay $4,476.25 to the law office to cover pending medical expenses, case expenses, and attorney's fees, correct?
La cantidad de 4,476.25 va a ser pagado a la oficina de Ezequiel Reina para liquidar gastos médicos, los costos del caso y honorarios. ¿Es correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
$2,822.47 will be deposited into interest-bearing account in the registry of the court for the use and benefit of the minor child.
Y la cantidad de 2,822.47 centavos es lo que va a ser depositado en el registro de la corte en una cuenta donde va a estar ganando interés para el solo uso y beneficio de Manuel.
Sí.
¿Correcto? Yes.
And there's a remaining balance of $201.28 to be paid to Medicaid as well, correct?
Y también una cantidad de 201.28 centavos también se va a pagar a Medicaid para liquidar esa cuenta.
Sí.
Yes.
For Gael Rico, there has been an agreement to settle all his claims against all defendants for $4,000, correct?
Y el caso de Gael, ha llegado a un acuerdo de resolver su caso con todos los defendientes en la cantidad de $4,000, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
Defendants will pay an aggregate amount of $1,600 to the law office of Ezequiel Reina for medical expenses, case expenses, and attorney's fees, correct?
Y va a haber una cantidad de 1,600 que va a ser pagado a la oficina de Ezequiel Reina para pagar los gastos médicos, los costos del caso y honorarios, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
And all parties will pay $2,400 to be deposited into an interest-bearing account into the registry of the court for the use and benefit of the minor child, correct?
Y la cantidad de 2,400 es lo que va a ser depositado en el registro de la corte para el solo uso y beneficio de Gael.
Sí.
¿Es correcto? Yes.
You realize that once the judge approves this settlement, you will not be able to come back and try to reopen the case, correct?
Y usted comprende que ya que el juez apruebe estos acuerdos que usted tiene, usted jamás podrá venir a demandar a estas personas o obtener más dinero de estos defendientes. ¿Usted comprende eso?
Sí.
Yes.
The money deposited into the registry of the court is for the use and benefit of each child, and you will not be able to withdraw these monies without permission of the court. You understand this, correct?
Y estas cantidades que le pertenece a cada uno de los menores es para el solo uso y beneficio de ellos y va a ser depositado en el registro de la corte donde este dinero va a estar ganando interés y usted no podrá sacar este dinero solamente que usted tenga que pida permiso a la corte y la corte se lo conceda.
Sí.
¿Usted comprende eso?
Sí.
Yes.
Tengo una pregunta, a ver si lo puedo hacer o no.
I have a question if I can ask a question.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Pregunte, señora.
Eso es lo que yo quería saber, como el niño, él necesita como tratamientos, él decía, bueno, me decía a mí que por qué no podía yo agarrar su dinero. No es para mí, o sea, es para él, pero bueno, tú sí puedes decir.
The question that I have is because like my son, he needs more treatment and he's saying, how come I can't have the money? Of course, it's for him.
Dile mismo.
Que no tengo Medicaid.
Sí, explícale. Explícale. Es que él no tiene Medicaid, miss.
I'll go ahead and discuss with her after our hearing this morning. If necessary, after I converse with my client, we'll go ahead and file a motion to withdraw and get it set for a hearing, but I'll discuss it with her.
Su
Okay.
abogada habla con usted de eso, señora, ya que termine esta audiencia.
Okay.
And the last question is that you understand we're here today to announce a settlement and you are asking the judge to approve these settlements on behalf of the 3 minors, correct?
Y están aquí hoy para anunciar estos acuerdos que ustedes tienen y usted le está pidiendo al juez que apruebe estos acuerdos.
Sí.
Yes.
Sí.
I have no further questions, Your Honor. I pass the witness.
All right. Let's see here. Mr. Scudder?
Just a couple of questions, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, you understand, correct, that you have a right on behalf of your children as their representative to a trial by jury if you had chosen to do so, correct?
Señora Castellanos, usted comprende que usted tiene el derecho como representante de sus hijos, usted tiene el derecho de que un jurado oiga este caso. ¿Usted comprende eso?
Sí.
Yes.
And do you understand that if there was a jury that heard the case, they could award more than the children are recovering in this settlement, less than the children are recovering, or the same that they're recovering? Do you understand that?
Y usted comprende que si un jurado hubiera oído este caso, tal vez un jurado le pueda dar más, le pueda dar menos o tal vez la misma cantidad. ¿Usted comprende eso?
Sí,
Yes.
But do we understand that you have chosen instead on their behalf to settle their claims and not go to trial because you believe that the settlement is in the best interest of your minor children?
Pero tenemos entendido que usted quiere llegar a un acuerdo aquí hoy en vez de que un jurado oiga este caso como representante de ellos. Y este acuerdo aquí es en el mejor interés para ellos. ¿Es correcto
Sí,
eso?
sí.
Yes. Yes.
And do you understand that if the judge approves the settlement today, that on behalf of your minor children, you will recover or obtain no additional amounts from my client's Penske Truck Leasing Company or Jose Andres Quilitan?
Y usted comprende que si el juez aprueba estos acuerdos que ustedes tienen aquí hoy, usted jamás podrá venir a demandar o quitar más dinero a mis clientes, que es José Andrés Quilitan or Penske Truck Leasing. ¿Usted comprende eso?
Sí,
Yes.
And finally, do you believe that this settlement is in the best interest of your minor children, and are you asking the judge to approve the settlement today?
Y finalmente, ¿usted piensa que este acuerdo aquí hoy es en el mejor interés de sus hijos?
sí.
Yes.
No further questions. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir. Let me see here, Mr. Garcia.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
Wait a minute. Maybe Ms. Huerta.
Judge, I do have a couple of questions for Ms.
Sure, okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
Ms. Castellanos, my name is Alex Huerta, and I represent Sandra Patricia Castellano and Fred Loya in this lawsuit. Do you understand that?
Mi nombre es la señora Huerta. Yo represento a Patricia Castellano y a la aseguranza Fred Loya. ¿Usted comprende eso?
Sí,
Yes.
Okay, and do you understand that this is all the money that your children will receive from Fred Loya or Ms. Sandra Patricia Castellanos regarding the automobile collision that's the basis of this lawsuit?
Y usted comprende que este sería el único dinero que usted va a recibir de mis clientes Patricia Castellanos o Fred Loya, que
sí,
ocurrió el accidente. Yes.
sí,
You went over the settlement documents and the final judgment with Ms. Orellana, is that correct?
Usted repasó todos los documentos finales con su abogada, la señora Arellano, ¿correcto?
sí,
Yes.
Did you sign that document freely and voluntarily?
¿Usted firmó ese documento libre y voluntariamente?
sí,
Yes.
Nobody forced you or coerced you into signing that document, is that right?
¿Nadie la forzó o le prometió algo para que firmara ese documento?
no,
No.
Use a double negative there. Did anyone force you or coerce you?
¿Alguien la amenazó o la amenazó, le prometió algo para que firmara este documento?
no,
Okay,
No.
sorry about that. That was my fault with the phrasing. Did you understand what it was that you were signing?
¿Usted comprendió lo que usted estaba firmando?
sí,
Yes.
Okay, and you understand that your children will not be able to come back and file another lawsuit regarding this accident in the future.
Y usted comprende que sus hijos jamás podrán venir para atrás a archivar una demanda tocante a este accidente en el futuro. ¿Usted comprende
Sí,
eso?
sí.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Castellanos. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Gracias, señora Castellanos.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Mr. Garcia?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Castellanos, my name is Mario Garcia. I'm the court-appointed guardian ad litem for your children. Do you remember we met by Zoom back on April 12th of this year?
Señora Castellanos, mi nombre es Mario García. Yo soy el abogado que la corte apuntó para representar los intereses de sus hijos. Usted recuerda que nosotros platicamos vía Zoom el día
Sí.
12 de abril de este año?
sí,
Yes.
Yes. And are you the natural mother of these 3 minor children?
¿Y usted es la mamá
Biológico.
biológica de estos 3 niños?
no, son mis sobrinos.
No, they're my nephews.
And the reason that you've been designated as next of friend to look out for the interests of your minor nephews is because a conflict arose because their mom was involved in this car accident and is one of the defendants.
Y la razón en cual usted es la que está representando aquí a sus sobrinos hoy es porque la mamá biológica de ellos también estuvo en este accidente y ella la nombraron como una de las defendientes, ¿correcto?
Sí,
Yes.
And are you swearing under oath with the court affirming and declaring that you're going to fulfill your role as next friend and you're going to act in the best interest of your minor nephews in this case? Is that correct?
Y usted está aquí hoy afirmando y declarando bajo juramento que usted va a ser, usted va a representar el mejor interés de sus sobrinos en este caso.
sí,
Yes.
sí.
And thank you, Ms. Castellanos. You remember when I spoke to you via Zoom, the 3 minor nephews were present, and I spoke to you in detail about each of your nephews' injuries and medical treatment and medical expenses, correct?
Y usted recuerda que cuando platicamos vía Zoom, platicamos en detalle tocante a las lastimaduras de sus sobrinos y los tratamientos, los doctores que ellos vieron y todo eso en detalle. ¿Usted recuerda eso?
Sí,
Yes.
Yes, and if you remember, I spoke to Jose Guadalupe Rico, and he was born on November 25th, 2006, correct?
Y yo recuerdo haber platicado con José Guadalupe Rico y él con fecha de nacimiento del día 25 de noviembre del 2006, ¿correcto?
sí,
Yes.
And at the time of the car accident, he complained of neck and back pain and shoulder pain, correct?
Y cuando yo platiqué con él como resultado de este accidente, él se quejaba de dolor en el cuello, en el hombro y en la espalda.
sí,
Yes.
And he received the proper medical treatment for these injuries, correct?
Y él recibió el tratamiento apropiado por estas lastimaduras, ¿correcto?
sí,
Yes.
Now, there was an MRI taken of Jose Guadalupe, and it did say that there was a 2-millimeter disc herniation at the L3, L4 of the lumbar spine, correct?
Y José también le hicieron una MRI, ¿correcto?
sí.
Yes.
And is Jose the nephew you were asking your attorney, Ms. Orianos, to receive possibly further medical treatment?
Y cuando usted decía que uno de ellos necesita tal vez más tratamiento, ¿usted se estaba refiriendo a José?
Sí, a Guadalupe, a José Guadalupe.
Yes, Guadalupe.
Okay, and as your attorney stated, she will be talking to you after this hearing, and I'll be more than gladly to assist in that effort.
Y como su abogada comentó temprano que ella va a platicar con usted después de esta audiencia, y yo también hago mis servicios disponibles en ayudarles en cualquier cosa que yo pueda.
Ok,
Yes,
Okay.
and besides, after he finished, Jose Guadalupe has been released from all medical treatment and care from this accident, correct?
Y José Guadalupe ya le han dado de alta, ¿verdad? De todos los doctores como resultado de este accidente.
sí,
Yes.
And as Jose Guadalupe explained to me in our meeting, he is not physically restricted from participating in any sports or any school activities. Is that correct?
Y como José Guadalupe platicó conmigo y me dice que él no tiene restricción en deportes o cosas así de la escuela, actividades de la escuela, ¿correcto?
ujú.
¿Sí o no? Necesita contestar, por favor.
Perdón.
Necesita contestar con un sí o un no
Ah,
a las
no,
preguntas.
no, no tiene restricción.
That's correct.
¿Qué es,
What was the
qué
question
es su
again?
respuesta?
Oh,
¿Mande? Es que de la escuela no sé realmente, no sé.
Es que es de school, I don't know. La
Your Honor.
pregunta era que él no tuvo, ya no tiene restricciones para que él pueda hacer actividades en la escuela.
Ah,
o
no,
en-
pero sí se queja, sí, no las tiene, pero sí le duele.
No, he doesn't, he
No.
doesn't have them, but he is, it does hurt him.
Okay, thank you. If we move on to Emmanuel Rico, is his date of birth April 27, 2012?
I'm sorry, Mr. Garcia, repeat the question again.
Yes, I apologize, Your Honor. Let's move on to Emmanuel Rico. Is his date of birth April 27, 2012?
Ahora vamos a hablar de Manuel Rico. La fecha de nacimiento de él es el 27 de abril del 2012.
Ya, sí,
Yes.
27, ¿no?
2012.
Desde el 2012.
27 de abril.
Sí. Yes, 2012.
And he was sitting in the back seat of the vehicle and he was seat belted. Is that correct?
Él estaba sentado en el asiento de atrás y traía su cinturón de seguridad, ¿correcto?
Sí, ajá.
Yes.
Now he also received medical treatment, and as a result of the accident, and his basic complaint was he had an abrasion or a cut to his head, and he had some neck and back complaints, correct?
Y tocante a Manuel, él también recibió tratamiento como resultado de este accidente y él se quejaba de que se pegó en la cabeza,
En la cabeza.
en el dolor al cuello y a la espalda.
Sí,
Yes.
And Emmanuel received the proper medical treatment for these injuries, correct?
Y él recibió el tratamiento apropiado por las lastimaduras que él recibió, ¿correcto?
sí,
Yes.
And he has been released from medical care and treatment for these injuries, correct?
Y a él también ya le dieron de alta, ¿verdad? De los doctores médicos y de tratamiento. Yes.
And he is able, he has no restrictions in participating in any physical activities at his school, JFK Elementary in Mercedes.
Y él también no tiene restricciones, ¿verdad? De que y puede participar en deportes o actividades en la escuela.
sí.
Yes.
And if we move now to your third nephew, Gael Rico, he was also in the vehicle at the time of the accident, correct?
Ahora vamos a platicar de Gael. Él también estuvo en el accidente, ¿correcto?
Sí,
Yes.
However, Gael did not receive much medical treatment as a result of this accident, correct?
Pero Gael, como resultado de ese accidente, no recibió mucho tratamiento médico, ¿correcto?
no.
No.
In fact, he was not injured or suffered any pain as a result of this accident, correct?
Él no sufrió lastimaduras o dolor como resultado de ese accidente, ¿verdad?
No,
No.
However, he did demonstrate to me that he did have a little bit of kind of a bad memory from the accident, and he took a few months to recover from any fear resulting from that accident, correct?
Gael sí me comentó a mí que él sí duró unos meses para recuperarse porque él tenía miedo, le daba miedo después de este accidente. Quedó como, tenía como
sí,
trauma.
estaba asustado, ajá,
Sí.
como estaba asustado.
Yes, he was like scared.
And since the time of this accident, has he recovered fully and can he participate in his school?
Y desde entonces él se ha recuperado completamente y él puede participar en la escuela.
Sí,
Yes.
Now, Ms. Oreanos did an excellent job in covering the terms of the settlement agreement. And you and I also covered those terms at our meeting, correct?
La señora Orellano hizo buen trabajo en explicar las cantidades de cada uno, pero
Sí.
yo y usted también platicamos de esos cantidades cuando platicamos, ¿correcto?
sí.
Yes.
And do you feel that the proposed settlements made for each of your minor nephews is in their best interest?
¿Y usted piensa que estas cantidades para cada uno de sus sobrinos es en el mejor interés?
Sí,
Yes.
And you're asking the court to approve each of these three settlements for your minor nephews?
Y usted le está pidiendo a la corte que apruebe estos tres acuerdos para sus sobrinos.
Sí,
Yes.
And then again, finally, you do realize that the funds that are left over after paying medical bills, attorney's fees, and court costs and other case expenses will be deposited into the registry of the court for the benefit of each of your nephews. Correct?
Y es importante estar consciente de que después de estas cantidades de que se quiten los honorarios del abogado, los gastos médicos, los costos del caso, las cantidades para cada uno que va a ser depositado en el registro de la corte es para el solo uso y beneficio de ellos.
sí,
Yes.
And you also understand that these funds will remain in the court's registry until each child turns 18, or before then, if you're able to show that one of the minor children requires a withdrawal of funds that relates to their benefit for health, maintenance, and welfare.
Y es importante estar consciente también que estas cantidades, ya que sean depositadas, ahí se quedan hasta que ellos cumplan la mayoría de edad. Este dinero no se puede sacar solamente con el permiso de la corte. Y si se pide permiso antes, tiene que ser para el solo uso y beneficio de ellos, ya sea para médico o cosas así. ¿Usted comprende eso?
sí,
Yes.
And then again, just a final question. You do understand that after today, the court approves these settlements, these three settlements for each of your nephews. You cannot change your mind later and come back and try to undo these settlement agreements, correct?
Y usted comprende que después de hoy, si el juez aprueba este acuerdo, usted no podrá venir para atrás mañana o un mes y decirle a la corte que usted no está de acuerdo y quiere cambiar estas cantidades. ¿Usted comprende eso?
sí,
Yes.
Your Honor, upon reviewing the medical records and medical treatment of each of the minor children and talking to them individually back in April, along with their aunt, and under the totality of the circumstances and the fact that there's two defendants, actually three defendants pitching in on these settlements, I will request that the court approve each and every settlement of each and every minor child in this case.
All right, thank you, sir. Any more questions from anybody? Yeah, there was a lot of defendants here, so the plaintiff's attorneys here did a good job of getting everybody coordinated here. Court will at this time take judicial notice of the entire file once again in CL 21-1054D. In the case of Marcela Castellanos as next friend of minors versus Anton Castellanos and Penske Rental Company. Court will hereby approve the minor settlements and will go ahead and await a judgment for signature. So anything else from anybody?
Your Honor, I believe there's an issue with ad litem fees. I did speak with Mr. Scudder this morning. Mr. Garcia did send us an invoice for $3,875 for ad litem fees, Your Honor. We, in discussing, we did feel like this was an excessive request. He bills it at an hourly rate of $250 per hour. And things are noted in there, such as 1 entire hour for reviewing the final judgment, for preparing an invoice to send to us, which is a clerical duty, and for preparing 2 orders setting hearing, which are not very long and are short. So, Your Honor, based on the information, based on the fact that these are 3 children, we would ask the court to reduce the ad litem fees to between $2,500 and $3,000. We think that is more fair and equitable. And then Mr. Scudder and myself, our clients will split the cost of that.
Your Honor, as far as that's concerned, I would agree to the $3,000 amount.
Very well. That'll do it then, $3,000.
Thank you,
Yes,
Your Honor.
Judge.
All right, thank you all very much. You all have a great day and stay safe.
Thank you. Thank you,
Your
everybody.
Honor.
May we be excused?
You all may be excused. Thanks so much for your patience
Your
and for
Honor.
your participation. Thank you all very much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Judge.
Number 2.
Number 2. Still morning, right? Let's see, Mr. Dennis Ramirez.
Good morning, Judge.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Next case here. Court will resume here and we'll continue with the June 6, 2022 docket. And I have here CL 22-1674D, Jose M. Sepulveda versus Abel Salazar individually and doing business as Impressive Customs. No, Customs.
Yes, Judge. Good morning. Dennis Ramirez on behalf of Mr. Jose Sepulveda. He's present with me via Zoom this morning.
All right.
Judge,
Yes, sir.
this
Good morning.
is a suit where we've alleged various causes of actions against Abel Salazar individually and DBA Impressive Customs. This is a commercial business located in Far off of Nolana, just west of 281.
Mhm.
And he is in the business of customizing cars and UTV, sport utility vehicles, Polaris, Can-Am type vehicles, Judge, that are typically referred to as side-by-side. In this particular case, my client, Mr. Sepulveda, delivered to him and they entered into a contract for him to customize a 2021 Polaris Razor with an estimated value of over $20,000. It was brand new and delivered to him. After various delays and, different reasons why the vehicle was not going to be delivered timely to my client, while in Mr. Salazar's possession at his shop, the business was burglarized. And our understanding based on the facts and in discussing this with investigators and surveillance video that we were able to have access to is that this is the only vehicle that was stolen that evening. The owner, Abel Salazar, or his employee, left keys in this vehicle, so they were able to only burglarize this vehicle. It was missing for several weeks. Ultimately, my client was driving, oddly enough, down the street. He recognized it, and law enforcement was able to locate the vehicle, but they crashed it. When they recovered the vehicle was pretty much stripped of a lot of the accessories and a lot of the factory parts that come with a Polaris Razor. My client had to recover it from the record yard, the towing record that the law enforcement used. At that time, and during this whole time for about a month now, prior to the filing of the suit, the owner, Abel Salazar, was giving my client the runaround with respect to presenting it to his insurance carrier for coverage. And at first it was, the police report isn't ready. Well, the police report is ready, but it's not certified. Well, it's certified, but now I need the VIN number. Oh, well, now it doesn't have this information on there. So it was just the runaround. Ultimately, when they discovered the vehicle and recovered it, at that point, Abel Salazar took the position that he was not responsible for it, that we need to pursue charges against the accused criminals. At that time, Abel Salazar and my client set up a meeting at his shop. I was going to attend, but before that, Mr. Salazar did not appear, so that became a telephonic conference. During that telephone conversation, prior to the filing of the suit, Mr. Salazar made it clear that he was not going to give us any information and that he did not feel he was responsible for this. Shortly thereafter, within an hour, my client was contacted by an investigator with the Far Police Department, where Mr. Salazar was attempting to pursue criminal charges against my client. We discussed what was going on. The officer took notice of it, and he pretty much gave my client and me, even though I had never stepped foot on the property, he gave us a verbal warning to not contact him being Abel Salazar, and not step onto the premises of the commercial property. So this suit resulted, Judge. We did file a TRO, and what we were requesting from the court is that, and it's outlined in the TRO, but pretty much that Abel Salazar, on behalf of himself or the business, not be allowed to cancel any insurance policy for the business. And it's further detailed in the TRO, Judge. I would make that a temporary injunction. Also, that he not destroy or otherwise dispose of any evidence whether written, electronic, audio, video, or otherwise. And pretty much that he be made answer to answer in this lawsuit, Judge. He was properly served 2 weeks ago on May 24th. To the best of my knowledge and confirming with the court records this morning, he has not filed an answer yet. He did not appear today. The TRO was properly served on him. So I'd ask the court to grant this request right now by default. If he fails to answer on or before the time allowed by law, we will be before this honorable court again seeking a default judgment for all the damages, attorney's fees, costs that my client has incurred in this case.
All right, then the court will at this time note that Abel Salazar is not in the waiting room. Therefore, court takes judicial notice of the entire file in CL 22-1674D in the case of Jose M. Sepulveda versus Abel Salazar individually and DBA Impressive Customs. Court will hereby grant the TRO and will grant plaintiff all relief requested hearing open court.
Thank you.
And so if he's got insurance, it would behoove him to go ahead and notify the insurance because they can probably have coverage here, you know.
Your Honor, and that's the only conversation I had with him that day. I told him, sir, for you to make a determination as to who's responsible or whether you should pay or not, I understand that's an argument you can make, and certainly your insurance counsel can make that argument for you. But for now, don't preclude us and don't hide this information from us like you have for the last month. We're not trying to recover from you. We know you have insurance. That's what this is for, you know, to cover incidental issues like this. And we're not trying to go after you personally. And I agree with the court's position, and we'll continue to do that, Judge, because my client does need to be made whole. He's out about $25,000 right now.
And it would appear that from the property code, I think in the area of bailments and bailer and bailment type of relationships, you would think that he would be responsible.
Yes,
for any damages done to customers'
yes,
items. Anyway, the court will grant you the TRO, and hopefully he'll cooperate with you, and you'll get the matters that you need. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have no
All right.
before this honorable court on this glorious Monday, first Monday in June. So may my client and I be excused, Judge?
You and your client may be excused this very hot Monday. Thank you, sir.